All right, so this is my first official spooky game for the season. Um, Unfortunately, I don't have my costume ready, but alrightish. That's better than not good. But this is Belladonna. If I remember correctly, because I did play this a few years back, it's a point-and-click adventure game starring a Frankensteinian type monster. It was very cinematic.
Oh, the physical sensation. Pain? I'm alive? That's odd. I don't feel alive. What's going on? I have no memories of anything before this point in time. My mind is tabula rasa, yet I have a language. I seem to be in some laboratory of sorts. Maybe I can find out what happened if I look around.
Okay.
A torture device turned into a strange machine. What kind of place is this?
All right. And this, as I said, is kind of a spooky game where you play as Belladonna here, who, as you can see here, is just waking up in a sinister laboratory with no memories.
My very first memory is waking up on this thing. Before that, nothing. I wonder what I am.
And so from here on, we pretty much just try to uncover the memories and
Books. A lot of natural philosophy and chemistry. Something by an M.W. Shelley. There's a handwritten note here. Maybe it can shed some light on my situation.
It is with shaking hands and heavy heartbeats that I gather before me the instruments of my last desperate attempt. I find myself on the threshold of my toils, a turning point, for I should fail tonight, I shall find my strength and resolve to continue. I doubt I shall fail. Wow, this is not good for people with dyslexia. At my feet now lay the lifeless remains of my beautiful Belladonna. A few hours ago, my wife is alive and well, and now she has been cut open, dissected, altered, and artificially reconstructed. From the second she gave up her final breath, I have worked tirelessly to preserve and prepare her corpus, that I might infuse a spark of being back into her lifeless limbs. I would love to live in this laboratory. You know, it's definitely a vibe. I got to admit, out of all the different horror tropes, the mad scientist is one of my favorites. This is the final test, and I got to admit the stacked Iron Maiden is quite a decoration to have on hand. This is the final test of all my research and experimentation the past 5 years. The complete revivification of a human being, body and soul. The anxiety I feel is agonizing, but I cannot let it hinder me from carrying out what I must do. For my own sake, and for hers, this procedure must not fail. In my feverish dreams, my wife appears as such a lovely creature, so far removed from this creation before me. Her cheeks, once so full of laughter, are now pale, almost to the point of transparency, with the skin stretched so thin over the cranium it threatens to rip at any moment. Her eyes would shine like the night sky, but are now empty, watery, and yellowish. I have to cling to my conviction that she will regain her former grace and vitality. Once she is brought back from the realm of the living, her eyes will light up with the flame of life, a Promethean flame. That's how it's spelled, Promethean, so... Damn it. Promethean flame stolen from the very gods. From this night on, man shall be the master of his own destiny, and God shall no longer be above us. As I write, the engines of life are finally heating up, and the last of the preparations coming to order. The crucial moment is ever approaching. The time has come. Success! The attempt is success. She's alive. And yet he's not here. Oh, interesting. Toolbox.
There's a screwdriver in this toolbox. Better take it.
Okay, and there's our little inventory.
A human skull or a paperweight.
Sorry.
It's a brain in a jar. I wonder what it's thinking.
It's thinking, let me out of this frickin' jar over
I
here.
have no idea what's inside of this, but it glows.
What am I, a frickin' jar of pickles over here? Let me out. Gargoyle.
That is one ugly gargoyle. Looks like a George to me. The door won't budge. It seems to be barred from the other side. I might be able to unscrew these hinges, though.
I wonder if that's some kind of clue.
The screws on these hinges are rusty and stuck. I need some lubricant to loosen them up. With such a multitude of jars and bottles, at least one must have some sort of oil in it.
Alright, let's see what... Oh, file of oil.
This oil looks expensive. Let's waste it.
Haha. You go, girl. Okay, let's take this
I
magnet.
love magnets.
Galvanic
It looks like
experiment.
the legs of a frog hooked up with wires. And I'm pretty sure it moves when I'm not watching.
Ugh. And let's just, for the sake of completion, let's pull the switch.
Now is not the time.
Pull the switch! This lab is really rad.
Screws. That should loosen them up.
Yeah, because I not really heard anybody talk about this game.
I'm free.
It's definitely an older one. I played this, boy, years ago. It has to be at least like 6 or 7 years since I played this last. And but it's like one of the ones where it's like it's spooky without being like a jump scare kind of game, and it's so gorgeous. Like the art style is really impressive.
Another piece of paper. This was written long before the last one.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of games here where you play it once, you get the story. It's been so long since I've done this, I don't know much about the plot anymore, just kind of like the basic overall. Yeah, it's like Frankenstein's bride waking up and trying to figure out your past and stuff. What? Wolfram von Trauschloss. Trouserschloss. Trouserslosh. Work is doing great. I kept a rat alive for 1 hour and 26 minutes last night. We'll move on to larger mammals within the week. I find my life more and more polarized into 2 phases. I remember times when I used to climb up and down the stairs like a squirrel each day, but now I spend most of my time, and indeed most of my thoughts, down here in my laboratory, only to step upstairs at night to sleep. It is warmer upstairs in the living area, but it is boring and understimulating. Down here where I make my progress, down here is what matters, and as I lie awake beside my sleeping wife, I often wish I was down here with my experiments. Belladonna grows increasingly distant, ever since that fateful night when our baby Lucas, oh no, gave up his last breath. She has lost all traces of her old self. God knows what she is thinking about as she silently gazes into the empty air or restlessly paces back and forth in the great hall. I, at least, am working with my grief. I have turned my attentions to the science. Oh, you know what? I actually need to do some quick changes in Twitch to make sure that the information is accurate. So give me just 1 second to update the creator dashboard, because anyone jumping in here for Thomas is Alone is going to be very confused. 2 seconds. There we go. 2015 is when this came out. There we go. That should theoretically make it easier for people to find what we're doing here. Yes. Well, I think it's implied that this is sort of like the Victor von Frankenstein like era of Victorian period where pseudoscience was kind of like becoming, because it's like they literally had M.W. Shelley on the bookshelf. It's Mary Shelley who first created Frankenstein. So like literally referencing the very first Promethean horror story. And one of the, I believe one of the originators of the horror genre to begin with. Anyway, where were I? I lost my place. God knows what she's thinking about. I gaze into the empty air, restless back in the great hall. At least I'm working with my grief. I have turned the attention to the science of life and death. And not a day goes by where I do not think of how my son was ultimately untimely taken from me. This is the thought that drives me in this, the greatest ambition. My own son will never return. I have accepted that now, but thanks to me and my work, the cold, ruthless contrast between the living and dead will in the future be much softer, maybe even completely erased. My wife, though, has let our grief devour her whole. She is emotionally and intellectually paralyzed, it seems to me. All of her creativity and quickness of thought, the wittiness of her speech, and the nimble way she used to jump from one conclusion to the next. All those qualities that made me fall in love with her in the first place. They have all been snuffed out like the flame of a candle. This makes me wonder even more why I bother to go up to her bed every night. The shell in which she has enclosed herself cannot be breached by anything I say or do. It is almost as though she is involved with someone other than me. I feel ridiculous for even writing it down. No, it seems ludicrous to think that Belladonna's disinterest in me is due to her seeing another man. I will not accuse her of that. It is just one of the many strange ideas that seem to appear in my head when I am down here myself. I am probably just tired. I'd better try and get some sleep as soon as this rat's heart stops beating. Everyone did talk fancy back then. It was a very loquacious and eloquent time.
It looks like someone has been sleeping quite a lot in this sorry excuse for a bed, and it was hardly the suit of armor. But why would someone choose to sleep down here?
Speaking of which, suit of armor.
What a dedicated knight to guard a damp dungeon like this. Maybe he was demoted. Maybe he likes the dark. Maybe he's secretly a poet. I bet his name is Roland.
I forgot she has this cute little quirk where she names everything she comes in contact with, and that's even remotely humanoid.
There's a long stick here. Perhaps it was used to try to chase away rats when trying to sleep.
Eloquent and loquacious.
More writings from the lonely doctor.
Curse my miserable existence. The hopelessness from which I see no conceivable escape. I cannot rid myself of the feeling that there was something of utmost importance that I need to take care of. But it is not yet time. That something beyond my control needs to be completed first. I carry inside me a sensation of waiting, yet I cannot name the thing I am waiting for. In the meantime, all I can do is work. I do make progress, but I am at an excruciatingly slow pace, and nothing I accomplish seems to calm the anxiety in my head. I sleep only a few hours every night and cannot remember my last hot meal. I am feverish and jump at the smallest of sounds. What is it that I am missing? I am spending more and more time down here with my research. I only occasionally go upstairs to sleep in the master bedroom. Most nights I sleep, if at all, in a makeshift bunk I've constructed in the cellar. It is not as comfortable, but my research is at a point where it is oftentimes requires my constant attention, and comfort is not my priority. I am certain I am advancing even closer to a significant breakthrough, but it is as though I am powerless to control or even affect the rate of its occurrence. And on top of this, I cannot rid my mind of the idea that Belladonna has forgotten me and taken a new lover. A new man in her life, someone more lively than me perhaps, someone who can still look at life with joy and optimism to match her own by a grave tragedy unaffected humor. Yet who would that be? I can remember friends we used to have, and my memory of our wedding was crowded in a festive event, but it has been years since this castle has seen any visitors. I have no time for social obligations, and Belladonna seems to have given up on everything that is pleasant in life. I suspect the castle is in undesirable condition as well. Almost all of the staff has left us. We are down to one girl who dusts the cupboards and lights the fireplaces, but I don't see much of either these days. For all I know, she might be gone as well. There cannot possibly be a man in Belladonna's life apart from me. How dare you disrespect the knight's accommodations? Yes, this valiantly guarding the, if anything dangerous were to get out of the, laboratory. But, now this makes me wonder if our character who has woken up from being basically cobbled together, I'm wondering if this is Belladonna herself or if she's actually the girl who dusted the place.
Another locked door. Let's take a peek through.
So we'll take the stick.
The stick is long enough to reach the key, but how will I grab it?
Okay, so then we'll put the stick on the magnet.
Look, I can attach the magnet to the end of this stick. Another locked door. Let's take a peek through.
Magnet on
Let's
the stick.
hope this works. Haha, just as planned. I got the basement key.
Exactly. Okay. Oh boy. Cogwheel, so this is our first puzzle. Oh, interesting. So now we look another journal page.
More letters. Has he figured it out yet?
I see now that my suspicions have been well grounded, albeit aimed at the wrong direction. Oh my god. Okay, Belladonna is not seeing another man, she is seeing a woman. I am convinced that it must be the maid, Claire, or whatever her name might be. She and Belladonna are up to something, I'm sure of it. And to think all of the hours I'm stuck down here, caught up in my dreadful work, leaving them free to roam and left to their own devices upstairs. Of course they have found each other, the only living things in this whole castle besides me and my week-long rabbits. So we have to be Claire at this point. They have it all figured out, and when I come up at night and act, When they come up at night, they act all innocent, keeping their mutual secret from me as a playful game. But as soon as I descend into the laboratory, they are in each other's arms again. But what can I do? The progression of events are beyond my control, just like my work. I slave away at my ghoulish endeavor. Even you know it's ghoulish, though. That's what the crazy part is. Making progress every hour, but never getting anywhere. And simultaneously, Belladonna is slipping away from me, further and further for every night. and yet nothing ever changes. Should I confront them, storm up there, hope to catch the two of them in the act, take back the life that was mine, the wife that was mine? No. I have no reason for my silly suspicions, no evidence whatsoever, merely a thought stuck in my brain, refusing to leave. So I remain passive as always, and each new day is one more where I am unable to make an action, unable to change my wretched situation. What if you are Claire in Belladonna's body? Oh, that's crazy. I mean, it could be. But I'm also kind of wondering if because like nobody was with us when we woke up. So it's possible that the doctor is no longer in the picture, but using his research, Belladonna brought Claire back to life using his devices in order to, you know, reunite with her dead lover.
There are some minuscule inscriptions on the wall here.
Alright, so one... Okay, so this is the... Oh, well these are easy. These are actually like...
A couple of cogwheels on the floor. They must have fallen off the mechanism when the door slammed shut.
I wonder if I can put them back. Okay, and then this is the small guy
Not
here.
yet.
Not yet. Aha! And then the valve. Oh, there's the Mad Doctor himself. Monsieur Trouserschloss. Candlestick.
A big and heavy candlestick. It looks like there used to be two of them.
There's the exit. There's an urn.
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss. This must be the ashes of Wolfram's son.
Oh no.
It's warm. I haven't realized until now just how cold my body is.
Like, these things on the hands are crazy.
The label says Dr. Wolfram von Trauerschloss. So this is the man who brings the dead back to life. He looks as though he would have been handsome once.
Yes, before the evil sort of seeped into his soul.
The doctor is losing it. He's just scribbling down nonsense by now. What will he do if he ever acts on his wild suspicions?
Okay, wow, that's... For scribbles, this is a lot of text. It is clear to me what I must do. I am now convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that my wife is unfaithful. They still hide it very well, her and that housemaid, but my logical mind tells me there is no other explanation. For countless hours I have pondered the situation, and the more I think of it, the more certain I become that my judgment is correct. These countless hours are hours I could have spent thinking about my work. It is clear to me that I will never be able to fully concentrate on the puzzles at hand, as long as my thoughts keep creeping back to my wife and her new lover. This is the very reason that my research is progressing at such an agonizingly slow pace. So it is clear to me what I must do. Belladonna herself is the person with whom I want back into my life, so I cannot punish her. That leaves her lover, the young maid. She is unimportant, and it is she who must go. I could fire her and throw her out of the household, but I fear that would not resolve anything. The two of them would still know of each other, and they could write in secret forbidden love letters or meet up in secluded rendezvous. No, it is clear to me what I must do. I must get rid of the maid for good. A plan is already taking form in my head. In the greenhouse out back, I keep a lot of plants and herbs. One of the specimens I have is called Deadly Nightshade, an interesting plant with many medicinal uses, but its renown comes from the fact that its extract is lethal already in small doses. Preparing a powder from this poisonous plant... Oh, because Deadly Nightshade is also known as Belladonna. That's funny. I forgot about that little detail. Preparing the powder from this poisonous plant is not at all problematic. Getting the victim to ingest a dose will be a challenge, but I expect to have ample opportunity. You're not aware I know of the truth and thus suspect nothing. The maid will fall ill, and with a short amount of time she will die of seemingly natural causes. No one will be the wiser concerning the true nature of her demise. Deadly nightshade is merely the common name for this plant. Its scientific name is Atropa Belladonna. Symmetry strikes me as beautiful. The poor girl strayed too close to the Belladonna, and it would be the death of her. So I'm wondering what all of this stuff is, because this looks like this is all connected, just as these are. Was the basement. The exit.
A dead body.
Quick! Consume it before it becomes cold.
It's the body of Dr. von Trauerschloss. He's dead. And what's more, he's been murdered. But who could have done this? There must be some clues around. The missing candlestick. And it seems to be the murder weapon.
Oh, that's weird. Like, he's wearing a lab coat, but he's face down, which means that this is actually like strapped up like a medical gown that you'd wear at a hospital.
There's a letter clutched in his hand. His final words? A clue left by the killer.
I wrote maybe the wife did it. It's very much a possibility. Yes, he wrote all of these in his dying breath. Over the course of the sleepless night have I thought through my next course of action from every possible angle, for it is indeed time for me to take action again. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see... Oh no. Okay, so Claire's already dead at this point. Even with the troublesome maid out of the way, I see little chance of getting my old Belladonna back. If anything, she is worse now than ever before, but I have an idea, one that kept me awake all night. I've come very far in my research by now. I can now fairly predictably create living creatures that are stable enough to not spontaneously die again. This is consistent through many different species of animal. I have noticed something peculiar, though. The turned creations seem strangely vacant and sluggish. It is as if, although the body is brought back to life, the soul is forever lost. The creation is perfectly functional and responds to stimuli just as if it were truly alive, but the mysterious spark of will seems to be missing. I know no other way to describe the phenomenon. This bothered me before, but now I cannot help to think that this might suit my needs. It isn't precisely the strong will of my wife that caused all my problems. Oh, isn't it precisely? Okay. So, she was too spirited, that's why he doesn't mind damping that down a little bit. Oh, yeah? What do you think? Something clicked, eh? There is no need to be poetic with flowers this time. I'm in no short supply of lethal substances in the laboratory, and poison suits my needs as well as it leaves no physical trauma on the body. I will still need to make incisions in the corpse to replace internal organs with clockwork parts, but stitching together surgical cuts is much simpler than trying to repair unhealed bodily damage. The integrity of her visage is a priority. To extinguish Belladonna's current life and give her a new one, to bring her body and mind back, minus the soul and free will, a beautiful, obedient automaton, a mechanical doll with all the functionality of a woman, but who is responsive and does what she's told. That, my dear reader, would truly be something. I think it is high time I tried my revivification process on a human subject. Something is cooking up there. I'm not confident in my verdict just yet. Alright, well that is fair. But yeah, this dude's a creep. Probably would have clocked him one too. Is there anything?
The body is still warm. He cannot have been dead for much longer than I have been alive. Did he have to die for me to live?
Oh, I've got the bloody candlestick too now. Alright, so... Boy, this just opened up a whole bunch of stuff, didn't it?
Those are a lot of gargoyles. Leupold, Brunhilde, Arthur, Maya, Lena, Ismildor, Ether, and Yosef. In that order.
Oh, and there's another journal page right here.
It's an old clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock.
Alright, we got a journal page too, so we're gonna read this. We got about a 5-minute, 6-minute
This letter is signed Belladonna.
Signed.
I've been waiting to hear the other side of this story.
Okay, Belladonna von Trauserschloss. If you had asked me just a few years ago about my future, I never would have fathomed my life today would be as it is. So strange a path has the twists of fate set me upon that I wake every morning bewildered, and like a small child, I expect anything and everything to happen during each new day. The night my planned future snapped out of joint and took a whole new direction was the night when my son Lucas died. Okay, so this is starting over right at the beginning too. I married Dr. Wolfram von Trauserschloss in the spring, and we loved each other deeply back then. How young we were. He was an educated gentleman from the University of Ingolstadt, and I had first assumed he would get a flat in Vienna. Instead, he convinced me we should live in his family's old castle and accept our roles as an old-fashioned nobility to the little village of the... Okay, so this guy's controlling as hell. We moved into the castle with a staff of 30 servants, beginning the task of breathing life and joy into the majestic halls. At this time, I expected to live out my life as a lady of the household, minding the servants and indeed raising children. Before long, our first son was born, and shortly after that, once again departed. I was devastated, of course, but Lucas had been sickly from his first day, and even though my husband had blocked it out the possibility from his mind, I was not entirely surprised when it happened. Nonetheless, it changed us. I believe Wolfram blames me for what happened, that he thinks it was somehow my fault. He retreated into his laboratory in the old dungeon and started doing unholy experiments and God knows what. Those were dark times. Instead of a household and a child to take care of, I now had no guests, practically no husband, and no child. Everything I thought would occupy my time was gone, and all I could do was grieve in solitude. The castle staff left one by one until there was only a handful still here. My existence was meaningless, and I spent my days doing nothing. But I dealt with my grief in my own way, and in time, the claws of melancholy began to loosen their grip on me. And in so many ways, I have Clara to thank for that. Wait, so her name is Clara, and the doctor just thinks her name is Claire? What a fucking asshole. Thank you. Fresh body. Okay, so we got about 3 minutes. Let's go to the backyard to... Oh, a little brisk out. Cool. Some nice soothing wailing in the background.
This must be the family cemetery. Yet, baby Lucas rests in an urn in the dining room. Why is that?
The doctor's a creepazoid.
It says Snowflake the pet cat. How cute. The stone is so old and the name is worn off.
Well, this is very unusual. Why would this be here?
The tombstone says Clara Stieber. This must be the grave of the wonderful maid I've heard so much about. I can't help but notice that it's been emptied.
It's probably fine. What in the hell, Ramsey, is all that? The greenhouse. Ooh, angel statue, what's gonna name this?
2 statues of angels. Seems a bit paradoxical to create statues depicting something that's supposed to be immaterial. Let's call them Justifer and Phi.
Justifer.
What a marvelous mausoleum. The plaque says Francisca Canosa. I wonder who she was.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to read this before the commercials go off, so let's go to the greenhouse for now, and then we'll do some reading once we come back. Oh wow, this is actually stunning. I kind of love this.
Yes, those are indeed boxes.
You know, in a place that is like mostly like grim and death.
A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot, a man-made object. The plant can consume nutrition and grow bigger, and the pot can't. Neither of them can think. So what about me then? I can think, I know that. But am I natural or man-made?
But yeah, like in a castle that is mostly like dull slate gray and full of death, this place is full of life, and I like that dichotomy.
This
Duality.
lantern might prove to be the very first thing that actually manages to shed some light on my situation. I'll keep it.
Oh, cool! And then the light actually like dulls on her character. Oh.
Belladonna. This little plant has caused a lot of trouble. For a flower, it's not particularly beautiful, but for a murder weapon, it sure is.
Big tree.
It's a large tree. Looks very peaceful. Couldn't I have been reincarnated into one of those instead of being forced back into this mess?
Curious. There's a basket.
Nothing inside.
Alright, so we'll be back in just a moment, and we'll pick this up where we left off. But that being said, we will get back into journals.
Look, a journal page was hiding behind the plant.
Oh, I took the Belladonna. Belladonna, did Wolfram murder poor Clara, or did he not? My situation has reached the point where it hardly makes any difference. I still cannot prove anything, but my conviction of his sin is only growing stronger. I cannot look at his face without seeing a murderer, nor not listen to his voice without hearing the words of an evil man. And the coward knows it. He sees the judgment in my eyes, and he shrinks away from it like the rodent he is. Guilty or not, he could not act more like a culprit if he so confessed his crimes in the town square. If he was hiding his laboratory before, now he practically lives there. Oh, in his laboratory. We both realize that he lacks the courage to meet my gaze, and after he simply stopped coming back upstairs. The villain, the fiend, could rot away in his dungeon, forgotten by the world, his remaining days spent in darkness and solitude. I will not forgive him. How could I, when he has provided me with nothing but misery since the day we met? The living area of this castle are mine now, and if my husband is incapable of even confronting me, he shall have no benefit from them. Curse my miserable existence. Good Lord. Poor lady. Call of Duty with Zac Efron and Morgan Waller. It's on a bridge with guns. Weird. That is weird. But more like regular...
More letters.
Advertising.
Can someone tell me what happened to poor Clara?
Alright. Some time has passed since the demise of Clara. As I calm down and regain control over my emotions, it occurs to me that there are some mysterious circumstances concerning her death. The sickness that came over her was swift and sudden indeed. Admittedly, my own medical knowledge is limited, but it still seems to me that such an instant and terminal change in the bodily humors should not occur wow, this is still like humors territory for medical science. Should not occur naturally. Could it be that she somehow ingested something that made her sick? But what? And from that line of thought, is it not a far leap to ponder if she was murdered? It was long ago that I lost track of the details of my husband's deranged research, but I do know that he handles lethal substances and obscure chemicals. How easy would it have been for him to slip something into Clara's food? So then, why would he do such a thing? Did he know about our affair? We were very careful, but perchance he guessed it despite our efforts. He would not go as far as to murder based solely off of a guess, would he? The distressing truth is, I no longer have a way of telling what Wolfram is capable of. It is of vital importance that these notes never reach any eyes but my own. These are grave accusations I am scribbling down, and in ways of proof I do not even have anywhere to start looking. And yet, the possibility is there, gloating in its simplicity. Yeah, no, I've heard that they're becoming more common, so I've been doing like a warning at the beginning. Yeah, but we're definitely uncovering more of the possibility of Clara being... Well, I mean, we've confirmed that she's been murdered. But, like, this... Wait. Was there, like, a...
The tombstone says Clara Stieber. This must be the grave of the wonderful maid I've heard so much about.
So...
I can't help but notice that it's been emptied.
This is almost certainly Clara at this point.
A note.
Good God, why did I not then expire? Why am I here to relate the destruction of the best hope and the purest creature on earth? It was mere days ago, at the peak of our bliss, when Clara fell ill. She complained of headaches and tiredness, so I made a bed for her and laid her down to rest. For the next few days, I cared for my companion just as she had cared for me, and nursed her with all my love and compassion. I believed it was just a passing sickness that would be over shortly. Each morning we thought she was getting better, and each evening we realized she had actually gotten worse. Today, when I entered her bedroom, she was there, lifeless and inanimate, thrown across the bed, her head hanging down, and her pale and distorted features half covered by her hair. In horror, I beheld the body of Clara, my love, so lately living, so dear, so worthy. I rushed towards her and embraced her with ardor, but the deathly languor and coldness of her limbs told me that what I now held in my arms had ceased to be the Clara with whom I had loved and cherished. Alas, what a foul curse lies in my gentle touch. I had lost the only child to the darkness, my husband, the two devouring madness, and now my lover had departed this world as well. Is my love truly as poisonous as my ominous name? Goodness gracious. Holy crap. Okay, so... Oh, is the moon? Nope, I can't say anything about the moon. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. There's not only a bottle of milk here.
There's a bottle of milk out here. I wonder how long it's been here. At any rate, it's frozen completely solid. No wonder in this cold.
Okay, so frozen milk and another journal page.
One more Belladonna letter. Let's read about this Clara figure.
Holy macaroons. Clara Stieber was one of the several chambermaids we hired when we moved into the castle shortly after the marriage. In the warm light of recent events, I feel as though I could pick her out of the crowd already at this time, but I suspect that the truth is she was always just another servant, one of many, and I didn't pay her close attention, close to the attention I know she deserves. The time of following the death of Lucas was hazy and unclear in my memory. I know I spent most of my time in an armchair in the living room, staring out the window. I know now that this must have been a difficult time for the staff as well. My apathy left them without purpose as more and more of the household was shut down. Soon the cooks and stable grooms began abandoning what they wisely identified as a sinking ship, and more of the staff left the castle to seek employment elsewhere. there was less and less reason for the rest to stay, and the household was quickly decimated. Holy macaroons, Batman! But throughout all of this, young Clara never left my side, and she gradually shouldered more and more of the household responsibilities, making it her task to take care of me and nurse me through my melancholy. It was her loyalty and industriousness when everyone else left that finally brought me back from my condition. And indeed, her love. As I now sit down to write what has been long unbroken chain of happy days, Clara and I have the whole castle practically to ourselves and nothing to do but enjoy our lives and each other. We sleep in a new room every night, cook our own food, and have picnics under tables or in front of the fireplace. We have no incentive whatsoever to uphold convention and norms when the house has become like a secure pocket inside the rest of reality. In truth, this touches on what I treasure most about Clara. Neither of us reap any concrete benefit from our union, neither financial or societal. There is no embedded purpose of producing heirs. Our relationship exists solely for itself and its own reward. I'm already adopting her adorable habits of naming inanimate objects. Oh, now, well, I mean, that could still make it both either Clara or Belladonna, but I'm still holding out that this is probably Clara, who we're currently playing as. The castle is not quite ours, however. Wolfram still lurks in his like a ghoul downstairs, and occasionally emerges and spends the night up here with me. We have little in common anymore, and in fact he is like a completely new person. His mind is vacant, his stare distance. He's thinner than ever before and shivers with cold. Clara jokingly suggests that we might have him declared mad and sent off to an institution. An innocent idea in her mind, but with some planning, this act might eventually prove to be our surest path to finally reclaiming this old castle for us alone. Oh, excuse me. It's a lot of reading. Okay, so we've mostly completed, so it looks like there's like different branches to all of this. Is he dead? Death. Death becomes him. Ha.
This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens when you're down to a skeleton crew of only one maid, no matter how fantastic she is.
Okay, so here's the blood page.
Another journal page.
Thank you.
This one has drops of blood on it.
Whoa, what? I, Belladonna, must think, remember, hands, fingers, right words, hate. Oh gosh, well then.
It's snowing outside. I have no concept of the current year, season, or even geographical location.
Yeah, Death Becomes Her is a really good movie. It's definitely a classic. I haven't seen it in many, many, many years myself, but... Oh, is that Belladonna? Wait a minute.
Another portrait. It says her name is Francisca Canosa.
Oh.
It's the same name I saw in the mausoleum in the cemetery. I wonder how she relates to the von Trauerschloss family.
Yeah, it definitely... What it's just from that last journal page, it seems like what's happened here... Oh, you know what might have happened here is Belladonna was murdered because the doc was talking about having, killing her and then, having her as like an obedient doll. And then out of like a vague memory of Clara dug her up and then made her another Frankenstein. And then, like, when the doctor tried to stop it, that's why he ended up getting killed.
I'm not going near that horrible cat. I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed.
Okay. Toy collection.
Look at all these old toys. Wind-up dolls, music boxes, and mechanical trains all around. I think this used to be a private hobby of the eccentric Dr. Wolfram's, before he got into the whole corpse business. That's a lot of books. Imagine you had books filled with every possible combination of letters. I wonder how much room they would take. There's a finite amount of letters, but unless we acknowledge a maximum length of a word, there would still be an infinite number of combinations, and the library would have to be infinitely large.
I mean, she hasn't lost any kind of cognition.
A stuffed raven atop a bust of Pallas Athena. What a cheerful decoration. Let's call them Annabelle and Dupin. Look, a perfect sphere. Let's see if I can get two parallel lines to intersect.
A typewriter?
I should sit down and write a story. But with all these journals and diary pages lying around, seems like I already may have.
Alright, another journal page.
The doctor's handwriting. I know it well by now.
Wolfram von Trauserschloss. Months have passed and I must indeed conclude that the procedure was a success. The new Belladonna is certainly... Oh no, he did it. He went through with it. That's what I was thinking too, but I don't know the possibility because I noticed the Doc's lab coat was on backwards and things are throwing me around. This is definitely a thinker, which is actually why I'm really glad I kind of returned back to this one, because I did not remember any of the story. Like, I'm getting like vague, like, snippets of memory from doing this here, but like the full story, it's like reading it again for the first time. The new Belladonna is certainly calmer, friendlier, and more docile. She gladly keeps me company in the laboratory nowadays, and she is polite and pleasant in everything she does. She's watching you work so she can figure out how to do what you do. One is tempted to describe her demeanor as lobotomized, but no, I asked her a question she will answer in a clear and articulated voice, and she is responsive to all kinds of stimuli. Verily, I have gotten all I could ask for. That troublesome maid is gone, and Belladonna is back with me, compliant as ever. Her behavior is exemplary. Our lives are returning to the idyllic past that I had thought lost, in all aspects except one. No child giggles in these halls. But my research is proceeding rapidly, and one question presents itself. Who needs a womb to create life? What the fuck? Oh god. I have made an unexpected observation, a side effect of the unliving condition. The household cat, a black beast, once Belladonna's loving pet, has gained a great mistrust of the latter's new form. The disquiet has fallen over the animal, and he will not go near the creation. Why is this, I wonder? Why this lack of trust, this sudden and ferocious hatred? Belladonna's appearance seems to me not much unlike from the cat, or what the cat before so fondly gravitated towards, but evidently the beast perceives the difference. As a species, the cat has popularly been associated with witchcraft and mysticism. Their eyes do indeed strike one as remarkable. Is it perchance so that the feline oculus is capable of peering into an animal's soul and spirit, and so, when faced with the created Belladonna, is distressed by the lack thereof? The dollhouse? Now, the dollhouse I've never actually seen. Okay, so I have milk.
That won't work.
Okay, good, thank God. So let's try giving this milk to the kitty.
Cats like milk? that is true. But this milk is frozen solid. I have to thaw it before I can do anything with it.
Okay. So does that mean we need to double back to the laboratory and see if there's like a Bunsen burner or something? Because that's the living room. The outdoors is going to be of no use to us. Oh, the dining room. Maybe. Oh, the fire. Of course, the fire.
I'll let it stand by the fire for a while. It's thawed. The milk is now in liquid form.
Okay. Tip, 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 tip. Yeah, kitty, 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 have some milk.
I'm not going near that horrible cat.
Milch.
I'll have to get rid of it somehow if I want to proceed. I can drink milk directly out of a bottle, but I have opposing thumbs. For the cat, I'll need to pour the milk in some kind of saucer.
Saucer. Okay, where maybe we do need to go. Well, the living room would probably be the closest place where we would find a saucer, some kind of bowl or some sort. Aha! Right there.
A beautiful china bowl. It looks hand-painted.
Okay. Then...
The milk pours easily.
Okay, so we got a saucer of milk. Jeez, the cat's scar. This, yeah, the cat is very loud. Hopefully the sound is not too bad. I tried to adjust the audio so you could still hear it, but without being too noisy.
Okay, so I can give delicious milk to my fearsome adversary, but why would I want to do that? This creature has nothing but scorn for me. It would just take my milk and keep attacking me afterwards. Unthankful thing.
Alright, this is...
I think I see where this is going. But I'll need to grind the plant into a powder first. Didn't I see a mortar somewhere in the house?
You did. Man, we're gonna kill the kitty. I don't want to kill the kitty. I mean, I guess we could just make the kitty alive again, but... I don't want to kill the kitties, but we have to kill the kitties in the game. That is a horror game.
Let's grind this plant into powder.
Okay.
Is this how Clara died?
Yes. She died by drinking milk off the floor. That was poisoned by Belladonna. They were into pet play, so you know it's not that weird. Don't think about it. I don't want to poison the kitty, you bastard.
Yes, this should put an end to the grim reign of this beast.
Alright, let's take the corpse and put it on the pedestal. Mysterious item.
Look, it's a key, and it has a funny tassel attached to it. No wonder the cat wanted to play with it. The animal must have managed to steal a key somehow.
I don't feel good about that.
This is strange. This is Belladonna's signature, but the handwriting is just wrong.
Yo, Lord. I write to exercise... Wow, hold on. This one's the hardest to read of all. I write to exercise my brain. I find that my thoughts become more firm and solid if I force myself to put them down on paper. It doesn't matter what I write as long as I can learn to think again and to remember. I must try and remember. I have no idea how long I have been this way. A walking corpse, a mimicry of human life, an unmensch. So, mensch in Jewish, or Yiddish, I guess, means man. So, unmensch, if we're talking about like the German, which Übermensch would be like reversing that to like basically she's saying that she's not a man, or not human. This is all the doing of my despicable husband. He could not be happier, the villain. He got what he wanted, an obedient wife. A beautiful Galatea. Oh, wow, that's a deep cut there. So Galatea is actually from Roman mythology about a sculptor who created a statue that was so beautiful that he fell in love with it here, and he asked Aphrodite to bring it to life, and in doing so, he was ended up getting punished for upsetting the goddess. But yeah, basically bringing an unalive thing is. Yeah, no, I'm really sorry about that. I forgot about that. If I had known that there was going to be like harm to animals, I would have provided some kind of warning. But I legitimately did not remember that was an aspect of the game. A beautiful Galatea that exists solely for his pleasure. Gross. If only he knew. These notes are the center of my universe, and I keep them well hidden. He doesn't know. He has no idea. The thought has not occurred to him that I might be a thinking being, and I intend to keep it that way. I am slowly and secretly, meticulously pulling my consciousness out of a black void. At first, I truly was a mechanical toy, responsive but never proactive, but gradually I began to regain capacity for thought, and I quickly realized I needed to keep it secret. These thoughts were now the only things in the world that truly belonged to me. Beginning to think again was horrible, in many ways even worse than the state of blissful ignorance from which I had just emerged. I had only managed to scribble down a single disconnected words at a time, more emotions than thoughts, impulses perhaps. My hands and fingers were stiff and clumsy. I remember cutting myself on the sharp pen once and not being able to prevent the blood flow. I thought that it would be the end for me. Surely Wolfram would notice the blood on my hands and get suspicious. But no, the self-absorbed fool merely stitched me up and let me go. I'll tell you, like, hubris will get you every time. I sometimes play with the idea of what I would have to do to prove to him that I am a person, but I won't. The monster has other plans.
The door is locked.
Gee, I wonder where we could find the key to unlock this. Boy, there's just not a lot going on in this house. As my consciousness grows stronger, so does my hatred for my husband. Each morning he brings me with him down to the laboratory and places me in a corner. There I will stand for the rest of the day, still as a statue, silent as death. Occasionally he will throw me a glance or a smile. I find my body smiling warmly back, almost like a reflex. This indoctrination disgusts me. I am a living decoration, a breathing statue of flesh, his wind-up toy bride. But little does he suspect my eyes are darting across the room, secretly and attentively following his smallest movements. I carefully memorize every step he takes, every note he writes down, every tiny detail of his ghoulish discovery. If only he knew how fast I am learning, or what a willing student I am. As of late, he has even picked up the habit of explaining his scientific work aloud. It helps him think, I suppose, and I nod and smile and give little encouraging laugh in all the right places. He is muttering his darkest secrets to me, and I drink it all up. And oh, if only he knew just how close he brushes with his own demise. Hundreds of times each day he is close enough to me for my hands to reach up and snap his neck, my strong fingers around his throat, slowly squeezing his precious life out of him. But no matter how close he stands, my arms will not move. I am a prisoner in my own corpse, staring through the glassy eyes, but unable to will any action into my own dead limbs. Call for me and I will walk. Ask me a question, I will talk, but my rotting brain is unable to form initiatives of its own. I am a golem following orders. It's possible, but it is written in Belladonna's journal. But I'm still like, I believe, like, because the grave was dug up for Clara, that Belladonna's the one who brought her to life. But I mean, the story will unravel itself. Because and the other aspect of that is if Belladonna, or the character who we're playing as, just woke up and is learning all this stuff here, when would she have had time to write down all the stuff in Belladonna's journal? I mean, she even saying that, you know, Clara died in her writings. Yet each passing night my willpower grows stronger, and I write my thoughts down diligently, and practice my mental capacities with all the resolve I have. The results are slow but reliable. One day soon I will have the tenacity to strike, and soon as the time comes, strike I will. One of these days, his lovely, life-sized doll will suddenly find the power within her to execute her swift revenge. Okay, so we just have like 2 or 3 more journals to read. Oh my, we're in a bedroom.
That's a big wardrobe. I bet you could hide a corpse in there. Actually, I better not open it and check. Let's take a look inside.
Okay, there's
coils of rope.
Rope.
I wonder why we're keeping rope in the bedroom.
Yeah, I know.
The mirror is completely shattered. I think someone in here didn't really like their reflection.
This must be Belladonna's room. There's a glass on the floor. Aha!
Is she dead? She doesn't move a muscle, yet she sits upright. She's like a mannequin of human flesh. Is she dead?
Oh, journal page. Here
a
we
note.
Go. Failure. The attempt was a failure. I could not lure my lost lover back into her deceased corpse. All my preparations in vain. All alone now. No one to turn my key. I bet you I could find a key.
At least the view is nice from up here.
Okay, so there's a coil of rope there too.
The lid is shaped like a heart and has a tiny keyhole. Whatever's inside must be very precious.
Alright, and let's see if this...
That's a big wardrobe. I bet you could hide a corpse in there. Actually, I better not open it and check.
Alright, well, thanks for stopping in, Jack. If you want to catch the end of this here, I do plan on posting this on my YouTube channel at some point. I just need to do some editing to, you know, cut some stuff down here. But yeah, you get some food. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out with me and enjoying this wild, crazy, spooky holiday game. Alright, now we've got rope. I wonder if the doctor has the key. Oh, wait a minute, a ladder.
Thaw the milk, grind the leaves, poison the cat. That was a lot of work to inspect this rather uninteresting ladder.
Candlestick.
Nothing happens. That makes no sense.
I wonder if the candlestick is like the key, or if there's something else that we need to do with this. It would be crazy to think that this would be like, it would fit inside the keyhole.
Nothing happens.
Okay, so we have a rope, broken mirror, and we exit. See ya. Okay, so not a portrait. Now we have this. I'm wondering if... I guess we could use try to use the rope on the raven.
Interesting, but no. It's an old clock. Tick.
Do we do anything with the grandfather
Not
clock?
now.
Oh, not now.
Interesting, but no. That makes no sense.
Alright, let's go to the backyard and try to open up the mausoleum. There's a shovel. Oh, it's flowers. For some reason, I thought that there was a...
I need something else.
something else. Okay.
I need something else. That makes no sense. That won't work.
Angel statue, mausoleum. Maybe there's a sledgehammer someplace that I'm missing? Because an axe isn't going to work because it's stone.
I need something else. That won't work. I need something that makes no... A plant, a natural object, standing in a pot.
Okay, I think we need to go back to the laboratory. You know what? I bet you we can do something with the, I bet we can do something with the knight, or the suit of armor. Candlestick, portraits,
The name on the plaque is Lucas von Trauerschloss. This must be the ashes. That makes no sense.
Okay, so there's the exit to the basement. Oh, wait a minute, we got a journal page that I missed.
The story is so sad. I don't even know if I want to read this one.
My wife took the wayward maid's death harder than I had expected, further confirming my suspicions that they were indeed having a secretive love affair. She's passionate and irrational, raging all day and crying all night. Where a few months ago the cold shroud of silence lay over the house, there is now wailing and shrieking of bedlam. One should think that she would be used to dealing with the grief of lost loved ones by now. You piece of garbage. However, in all sincerity, I don't believe she was ever as affected by death as of her only son as I was. I also suspect she might have guessed that I had something to do with her lover's demise. She wouldn't talk to me before. She now yells and barks at my every movement. I hardly leave my laboratory these days. I even have a small bed down there where I sleep the few hours I'm not working. All the while she prowls around upstairs like a hungry tiger and attacks me over futile nitpicks as soon as I poke my head out. What happened to the love we shared when we were married? Were we going to live together in her... We were going to live together in her inherited castle. We're going to have children together. Now I get is abuse in a cold bed in the basement. All I want is for things to go back the way they were before all this. Okay, so that's all of the journal pages save one. Okay, so that was just the order of... Oh, wait a minute.
This is the nail from which I skillfully lifted the basement key.
Okay, so there's a winch down here.
It looks like someone has been sleeping quite a lot in this sorry excuse.
Suit of armor.
That makes no sense. That makes no... I don't know why... Interesting, but no.
Suit of armor. Well, now what do we do here? The skull, the switch, bookshelf, the gargoyle. What could possibly be?
You look so lonely, my friend. I'll call you Eva.
Eva.
Interesting. I don't know why I thought that would work. I don't know why I thought that...
Alright. I'm missing something here. Wish there was a way to see what items we've picked and what items we haven't picked.
The toolbox is empty. I'll call it Uric.
Yorick, that's fantastic.
It's a brain in a jar. I wonder what it's thinking.
Okay, so maybe we smash the tank.
I need something else.
We need something else. Okay. What the hell am I? What am I missing? Alright, maybe we combine
I need
some
something
stuff?
else.
We need to open the mausoleum. That's obvious. But what? What on earth am I missing? Sheet of furniture.
This room looks completely abandoned. I suppose this is what happens. This room looks complete.
All right, let's see if there's anything on the body. Strings.
There's something in his pocket.
There it
It's a
is.
small, delicate key. He kept it in the pocket closest to his heart. I wonder what it unlocks.
Okay, well, I know exactly what it unlocks. Okay. We're gonna find out what's inside here.
I wonder if this key fits.
There's
There's
the
a
big
key
key.
hidden inside. A very important one.
All right, so we're gonna insert the key here. Yay! Oh.
Clara, it really is you. I was so certain I'd never see you again. You didn't wake up.
I woke up. I've been wandering lost ever since, trying to find out what's going on.
How are you feeling? Do you remember me?
I have no memories of you, or of myself. But I found some notes lying around. I can only assume you're the one called Belladonna?
I am Belladonna, murdered and reanimated by Dr. von Trauerschloss. At first a mindless mechanical doll, but I slowly regained control over my brain. And when the time was right, I broke free.
I saw the doctor's body.
Yes, I crushed his skull. Standing over his blood-soaked remains, I was free at last.
But where did I come from? If he was dead, was it you who brought me back?
Yes, my love. You were the only thing on my mind as I stood there, alone and victorious. I had secretly watched the doctor's process, and I desperately wanted to believe that I could get you back. I unearthed your grave and carried your dead body down to the laboratory. I did everything right, to the smallest detail, but you didn't wake up. And my time was running out. I can't turn my own key, and now that I was alone in the castle, I knew my life force would run out quickly. But for all my effort, you remained dead, and with no one to keep me vital, I eventually sat down here and just stopped.
But I did wake up.
Yes, apparently you did. Your body had been in the ground for quite some time. Perhaps that made the reanimation process slower, but with your key powering your brain directly, you did not have to go through the drawn-out, sluggish wake-up. I take it your cognitive powers and language have been with you from the start.
Well, yes.
Excellent. Then I have even improved on the doctor's method, but I doubt independent thinking and free will was ever in his interest to reproduce.
Do you think you could do it again?
Create more of us, you mean? Yes, I hold the secret of life and death, and I plan to use it. The experimentations must continue.
And the two of us will have no place in this world.
Quite right. So, we'll make us a place. Dead bodies will never be in short supply. We'll make more of our kind, a whole new race of the damned.
Where do we start?
I know for a fact that there's a fresh body lying out there in the Great Hall.
The doctor.
His flesh, at least. We won't be using his wretched brain. I've already destroyed it in any case. But the body will do. We will have to find a few other ingredients. Will you help me?
Of course I will.
Thank you, my love.
Whoa.
I'll carry the body down to the laboratory and start with the preparations. And in the meantime, you can help me with a few other things. The doctor's brain is completely destroyed. I made sure of that. I don't think any of us want his villainous brain back amongst us. We're going to need to find a new one. Secondly, we will also need some clockwork parts. We have to manufacture a force to keep the dead body going. Thirdly, not only the brain, but also the head and the cranium were damaged. If we can find a new head, that would save a lot of the reconstructing effort.
Okay, so interesting. Well, I already know where a brain is and
I
a
saw
skull.
a brain preserved in alcohol down in the laboratory.
Oh, you did? That's good. That, my dear, is the brain of baby Lucas.
Oh God.
Your son?
Lucas was never buried. The doctor had the body cremated very quickly and thus incinerated all the evidence that the corpse was not complete. He'd stolen the brain and kept it for himself. I don't know what he claimed about not planning on resurrecting his child, but the truth is that he kept the brain all the same.
And now you want your child back?
No, my dear. It's just a brain. I wanted you back, so I took great care to preserve your personality. But this brain is young and has been dead for very long. I suppose the creation will be my child, in a way, but not my son Lucas.
Okay, well I know where clockwork
Clockwork?
is.
Yes, we need something to supply the body with the force to move. We can't make the heart beat again, so we use the spring-loaded clockwork. In the future, we'll have to think of a source of parts more reliable than salvaging old-time pieces, but that'll do for now.
I see.
Thank you.
Okay, and a head.
Will we need to find a fresh human head?
Yes, I've smashed up the head of Wolfram rather frivolously. I'm afraid it's beyond rescue. I was thinking of my grandmother, Francesca Canosa. I'm sure you've seen her portrait in the study. She was buried some time ago, but her cranium should be sufficiently preserved. She rests in the mausoleum in the cemetery outside, but there is a hidden way into the tomb behind the armor in the basement.
Aha.
Your grandmother. Will it not cause problems to attach a woman's head to a man's body?
No, I don't see how it would make any difference in this new race of ours. We do not even reproduce sexually, so not even that significance is relevant.
What do you mean we don't reproduce sexually? How do you know?
I spent quite some time with Wolfram Dead and mindless, you know. I can safely say that, though we do experience all the physical sensations of intercourse, we cannot become pregnant or bear children.
Ah, gross.
I see. I'll go take a look behind the suit of armor.
Thank you.
Okay, more questions.
Some things have been puzzling me.
Did I used to have hair?
Did I used to have hair?
You had beautiful hair. Unfortunately, I had to shave it all off in order to operate on your head and open your cranium.
Will it grow back?
Will it grow back?
I don't rightly know. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Yet you were not bald.
Yet you're not bald.
I was revivified directly after my death, when my body was still fresh. You, my dear, had been in the ground for quite some time. I had to reconstruct large parts of your decomposed corpse.
That explains the metal construction holding together my skull.
I have my fair share of screws and bolts myself, but they are carefully hidden. I opted to sacrifice your pretty hair so that I could work more on preserving your brain. Something the good doctor did not do for me.
Okay.
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
What is this I'm wearing? On my way here, I killed a cat. Oh,
On
boy.
my way in here, I killed a cat. It was in my way and it felt so natural to just dispose of it. It worries me a bit.
How so?
I may have a functional brain, but what about a soul? Shouldn't there be something in me stopping me from hurting others? Or at least making me feel bad about it?
You're right. It did come very natural for me to murder my husband. But I'm not too worried about this. I have no desire to commit unnecessary killings, and I do have control over my actions.
What if you were raising an army of cold mass murderers?
What if you're raising an army of cold-hearted mass murderers?
They won't be mass murderers any more than you and I. And besides, why should we prioritize the lives of the living above the lives of the dead?
Okay.
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
Let's see, what am I wearing?
What is this I'm wearing?
I'm so sorry about that. I covered you in scraps and bandages I found in the laboratory. I had to cut open and discard most of what you were buried in order to stitch you up. I want you to know that my plan was to be right next to you when you woke up, to help you understand and to find a proper dress. I'm so sorry it didn't come to pass like that.
And why did you put the wind-up mechanism in
Why
my
did
head?
you put this wind-up
Basically
mechanism
already
in my
explained
head?
that, but...
Yours is in your back.
Yes, the damned doctor had placed my wind-up mechanism in my back. It goes straight into my chest and heart, giving me a strong central of power. But it is placed outside my own reach.
So you can't turn yourself. She said that already.
So, you can't turn it yourself?
No, I can't. I have to depend on others. That's why I chose to put the key in the back of your head, well within reach of your own hands. I know what it means to not be in control of your own existence, and I will never put someone else in the situation I'm in.
Okay, thank you. Yes, that's
Thank you.
quite kind.
Of course.
I want to ask something else.
I'm here for you.
Okay. Alright.
I'll start looking for the objects then.
Thank you. Come talk to me if there's something you're unsure about.
Alright, we got about I would say 4-minute warning on some more ads, but at the rate going, I think we're going to be able to get this completed before we end stream, which is going to be great. Clockwork is easy enough. We just need to go to the grandfather clock.
I see a lot of mechanical parts in there. I need to get them out somehow.
Kablang.
Interesting, but I see a lot of That won't work.
Alright, well, gonna have to go down to the bet you there's something in the mausoleum that we're going to be able to use to open up the grandfather clock or smash it. Kind of want to just push the damn thing and then steal whatever's left inside, but it's not an elegant solution. The lantern is going to come in handy with the...
Belladonna was right. There is a secret switch behind Roland the Poet. It's too dark down there. I won't see my hands in front of me unless I light the crypt up first.
Okay. Easy peasy.
I can't just drop the lantern into the hole. It's gonna break when it hits the bottom. I'll just tie this rope to the lantern.
Okay, and...
Yes, I can lower the lantern into the hole.
Aha.
Amazing. I must be directly underneath the mausoleum in the cemetery.
Journal page.
I can't believe it. It's another letter. How did it end up down here?
Ooh, Clara Stein. Oh, Clara. Oh, wow. After insistent probing from my lady Belladonna, oh boy, this is gonna take a minute. Let's read this when we get back from commercials. Sarcophagi.
Here's Francisca's coffin, but the lid is much too heavy for me to lift. Maybe I could break it open, but I'll need some sort of big hammer or mace for that.
Easy peasy. Smash a room.
Things one does for love.
Oh God.
You look very peaceful, but I do so need your head. How shall I remove it? With some surgical tool from the laboratory, perhaps?
Excellent notion. Let's get that while we're waiting.
The body of a deranged murderer, the decomposed head of an old lady, the brain of a small child. How could this possibly go wrong?
Okay, we got the brain. What's a brain? Where doth one findeth something sharp?
It never moves when I look at it, but it just sort of twitches in my periphery.
Wait, there's a bone saw here. I didn't notice that before.
Ooh, surgical tools. Shiny.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick break for commercials. So grab the brain of Lucas and grab the bone saw.
Now to carefully remove the head. It's remarkably well preserved.
Ugh.
That won't work.
Yeah, that looks fairly awful. But now that we're back, what we can do is we can go back to the journal and read Clara. After the insistent probing from my lady Belladonna, I too take to the pen to come evening. The scribbling does not come as readily for me as it does for her, yet I do most certainly see the appeal of the activity. So much has happened in my life as of late. My brain is overflowing with joy and secrets and disorder. And if I managed to write down a map of but a fraction of it all, it would be an enormous relief. Verily, it all centers around Belladonna, this queen regent of the castle, who has turned her benevolent face towards me, and thus fills my person with happiness I had previously thought unimaginable. I still remember the first time I saw her standing next to her husband, and I took up work in the household. And I remember how she seemed to me to glow. The two of them lost a child shortly after that, and the tragedy would linger in the castle for a long time. All the other servants started to leave one by one, but as much as I wanted to, I found myself unable. I kept postponing my departure with each new day, and found myself dancing around Belladonna's flame, drawn to it as strongly as I had been from that first glance. By the time she finally recovered from her melancholy, I was the only one left in the castle. And it was at this time the miracle happened. Belladonna saw me in a new way. This tempestuous affair, galloping and world-shaking, and yet so quiet, so hidden. The castle is ours to rule as we please, but only as long as we do not arouse the suspicions of the grave-robbing goblin and the Good Lord. It is as if I have stepped into one of the fairy stories my grandmother used to tell, but Nana's stories always ended with somebody losing their head or being eaten alive. Though seemingly everlasting, this bliss of ours, a seed of doubt is growing in my heart. Belladonna is married, after all, and who am I to break their wedlock? Theirs is not a happy union, true, but I am seducing my love to break her vows and soil her soul, and what wretched ruin will that bring upon us? For a long while, Belladonna was all I dreamed about, my queen and goddess, my deepest wish for her to let me into her life and let me worship her. I thought I would give up anything for that. Now I am here and wonder if I have sacrificed too much. Belladonna comes from high society, and she doesn't realize just how much she takes for granted. It's still clear who is the lady and who is the servant. Can I keep living like this, or will I have to do the unthinkable and leave her? So this is her being unsure about her place in Belladonna's heart because of her station. May Belladonna promise not to read anything I wrote. Made Belladonna promise not to read anything I wrote, and looking at what I have just put down on ink, the weight of that promise is clear. I have forged into words thoughts I did not know I had, and it is vital that these pages remain secluded from prying eyes. Secrets upon secrets. I shall hide this letter inside the old armor in the basement, and whom I called Ronald the Bard, where I doubt anyone would find it. I'm descending into the dungeon as soon as I am done here, and I'll hide this note on my way, as the master has asked me to fetch for him a certain plant from the greenhouse. As strange as this whole situation is, I must obey his requests, if only to keep appearances. So, what a fucking douchebag. He actually made her fetch the actual plant that he used to poison her. What an absolute shitbird. Oh, okay, so the blood's new because she dragged the corpse down to the stairs. Alright, no, I figured something out in the break. Like, the only reason we would still have the screwdriver would be to use it to open up the grandfather clock. I mean, it would have been freaking hilarious if she slipped in the blood and just ate shit right there in the linoleum.
This faithful screwdriver will do the trick.
There we go.
Time to turn this old clock into a slightly peculiar wardrobe.
To the dining hall. Okay, so we've got the last of the items here. Whoop, slip. Crash. Alright, so clockwork, fairly particularly horrifying skull, and the brain of Lucas. Who will be our undead child? Once a body of a great big shitbird. Okay, where's this fish? Oh, I just noticed it's like a full ass, like horse skeleton there. Belladonna.
Thank you, dear.
Biddle-doo,
Thank you, dear.
biddle-doo.
Thank you, dear. The creation is complete. All we need to do now is force life into these dead limbs. That big switch on the wall initiates the procedure. Will you have the honor, my dear?
Gladly.
Bum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum-bum.
The time has come. I've wanted to pull this thing since the first time I saw it.
It's alive.
Oh wow. Holy macaroons, look at that. Wowzers. Well, I mean, that's a happy ending. I mean, ultimately, this is a game about two lesbians adopting. We'd love to see it. Alright, well, wow, I mean, that was a very short game, so we are definitely going to just end it here. I see no reason why to not do that and send us off to someone else. And we will be doing some more spooky stuff, hopefully with my Halloween costume in the near future. So until then, let me just make sure I got the name right. Perfect. Until the next time, we will catch you on the flip.